All right, so you can find this practice on page 41 of your book. Okay, that would be the activity number 3. And it says complete the sentences using must, have to, don't have to, or mustn't. All right, so look at the sentence very carefully and try to identify which of the sentences refer to an obligation. And if it is an obligation, is that obligation important or is part of your job? All right. And try also to identify the expressions that mean an obligation, a lack of obligation or something that isn't necessary or something that is forbidden. Okay? So let's start. Number 1 says, you have clean hands in the kitchen. Have clean hands. What do you think is the correct word or the correct expression for this sentence? Have clean hands. Tener manos limpias en la cocina. Is it have to or is it must? The correct answer is must. Why must? Because this is something important that you have to do. Okay? Next, it says, we start work at 8. Okay? Comenzar el trabajo a las 8. What do you think? Is it an obligation? Is it an obligation? Is it something important? Is this for prohibition? What do you think? It's an obligation. Your obligation is to start work at 8. So, yes, we have to start work at 8. Okay? Now, the next part is negative. It says not. If it is negative, well, you only have two options, or whether it is don't have to or mustn't. Okay, so here it says work on Sundays is very similar to the example I showed you. So the correct answer is I don't have to. Okay, that means that this isn't an obligation for me. Number 4, we prepare the vegetables before 11:30. Prepare the vegetables, of course, is an obligation, okay? But is it part of your job to finish before 11:30? What do you think? Okay? I think here the correct answer must be must. It's important to finish before this time, okay? The next sentence says, the attendants change the beds every day. Okay, change the beds every day. It is an obligation. It is not something important. Okay, this is something that is part of the job or of the attendance. So the correct answer must be have to. Okay, this action, change the beds every day, is a responsibility of the attendants. Next sentence, you leave food on the floor. Dejar comida en el piso. Is this an obligation? Is this something that you have to do, or is it something that isn't necessary? Or is this action something that is forbidden? Of course, it's something that is forbidden. Okay, you mustn't leave food on the floor. That would be rude. And number 7 says, guests check out by 12 noon. Okay, this is an obligation of the guests. Is it only something important, or is this something that they have to do? They have to check out by 12 noon. All right? So remember, keep practicing this at home and study this topic for your exam. All right, guys. Once you solve the activity of the expressions must, have to, don't have to, and mustn't, you will find a listening activity, Kitchen 19, and you have to go to the transcripts on page 80. Page 80, let me check. 81. You'll have to go to page 81. You will find this transcript this dialogue, kitchen hygiene, and you have to listen, match the phrases, okay? You have must always wash, mustn't wash, must clean, must sweep and wash, have to clean, and must put. You have to match these 6 phrases with these 6 options that you have under them. And then activity 5 says, look at these ideas for customer care. Take turns to practice them using must or mustn't. Okay, you have greet customers with a warm smile. Well, you have to choose if it is must or mustn't. Be polite. Don't keep customers waiting long. Answer the phone quickly. Remember the caller's name and use it. Don't ignore customers while you're on the phone. Smile and make eye contact if customers are waiting. Look after customers with specific needs. Be patient and helpful at all times. Now, if you have an expression that says, don't ignore, you have to use mustn't. But remember, when you use the verb mustn't, you don't use the auxiliary don't. That means that if you say you mustn't don't ignore customers, that would be wrong. All right? The correct form for this sentence is you mustn't ignore. Okay? Good. Now, number 6, work with a partner. Student A information is here. Student 2 information is below. Okay, we're going to skip this activity. It says put instructions for the recipe in the correct order, and that's it. We're going to skip this. And we're going to go to the vocabulary of this unit. Words to use, we have the kitchen utensils and the kitchen skills. Utensilios de cocina, kitchen utensils, and kitchen skills, las habilidades o las acciones que se hacen en la cocina. We have balloon whisk, food mixer, garlic crusher, ladle, rolling pin, sieve, wooden spoon. And the kitchen skills or the kitchen actions are beat, blend, cream, fold, stir, whip, and whisk. Find the meaning of these words. Remember, it's important.